Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to talk real briefly in this video about this controversy regarding Roy Moore and the Senate race in Alabama. His race against Doug Jones. I want to talk really briefly in this video about the yearbook that Beverly Young Nelson has submitted as evidence of his guilt, where she said that he attacked her back in 1977 in the back of a restaurant that she worked at, and he tried to rape her, etc., yada yada yada. And I want to talk about that yearbook, and I want to just take some things real briefly. And I want to say right now, okay, the yearbook, okay, she said he signed it, he said he'd never met her before or whatever, but I want to say right now, whether he signed the yearbook or whether he didn't, it doesn't, it doesn't prove his guilt at all. And if he said that he never met her, then maybe he forgot her. Now I want you to understand something, okay? Let's say that you're a 70-year-old man, and from 1977 until present time, you have shook hands and you have met multiple thousands of people, being a judge in the state of Alabama, being a politician. So you're in the, you're shaking hands and rubbing elbows all the time. Would it be feasible that you forgot a 16-year-old girl that you knew for about maybe a minute or two, and you signed her yearbook back in 1977? Would it be feasible that you forgot all about a little girl like that in 40 years? Yeah, I think it would be very feasible. I think it'd be very understandable that you just forgot about her. You just forgot that you ever even met her. You met her at a restaurant, signed her yearbook, and said bye. It would be very feasible to say that you wouldn't remember something like that after having, met all kinds of people in the space of 40 years. So my point in saying that is, whether he signed the yearbook or whether he didn't, it proves absolutely nothing. I mean, so everybody that signs a yearbook now is a sexual predator? I don't think so. But, Beverly Young Nelson this week, said that she admitted that she forged or signed the date below Roy Moore's, or supposed to be Roy Moore's, signature. She said that she added that. Well, she should have said that ahead of time. And the fact that she didn't really calls her credibility into question. And it really makes you wonder. And what makes me wonder is, okay, you look at all the other signatures in that yearbook that she's got, and Roy Moore's signature is the only one that she put a date under. Why did she put a date under Roy Moore's signature, but she didn't put a date under anyone else's? I think it's just to make it look like she's telling the truth when really she's not. And the whole thing with this yearbook, just hand it over, quit the foreplay, hand it over, let it be analyzed, let the professionals analyze the signature and the ink. The ink is what really needs to be looked at. What's the age of the ink of Roy Moore's signature as opposed to the age of Beverly Young Nelson's date that where she said she signed it? And also with Roy Moore's signature, I mean, what if the ink's not really that old? And they can tell that. Forensic scientists can tell how old that ink is, and it can tell a lot. But they're not handing it over. They're stalling because they're wanting to keep doubt in the people's minds until the election. But I don't think it's going to work. I don't think that Doug Jones is going to win this election. I think Roy Moore is still going to win it, because I think people see through this smear campaign that the left is perpetrating upon Roy Moore, and ultimately it's going to be Donald Trump. But Beverly Young Nelson is lying, and I think she's lying through her teeth. I mean, she is a woman that is not very credible at all, and for many different reasons. I've got another video or two on my YouTube channel. You can check those out of the story that she gave, and it's got all kinds of holes in it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And the scary thing here is this, that people will call Roy Moore a pedophile, will call any Trump supporter a Nazi. Why? I mean, without any evidence to the contrary. I mean, without any evidence whatsoever. I mean, there's no evidence really that Roy Moore is guilty of attacking this woman. No evidence whatsoever. Just her word against his. But her, and by the way, the burden of proof is on the accuser, not on the accused. The burden of proof is on the accuser, and that would, in this case, be Beverly Young Nelson. The burden of proof is on her, and the only proof that she's got is the yearbook. Okay, you signed a yearbook, so what? And these other women that's come forward, that, I mean, and had all these stories. I mean, one worked at a mall and said that Roy Moore asked her out on a date. And okay, so asking somebody out on a date makes you a sexual predator? I don't think so. But what people are doing is they're believing the media narrative, they're believing the media headlines without looking into it for themselves, and that's scary. I mean, people just believe whatever they hear, and you know, the media is very liberally biased, and there's no doubt about that. But something else, you know, at the press conference that this woman gave with Gloria Allred, and if Gloria Allred's got her name on it, you know, she's kind of like a dung beetle. She just, you know, she just goes where the trash is. But they held up this picture, this sketch of Beverly Young Nelson. I guess when she was like 16 years old. What is your point in doing that? Why are you holding up a sketch of when you were 16 years old? The answer to that question is this: because they're plucking the heartstrings. They know the public is very gullible. They know the public is very, you know, emotional, and they're pulling the sympathy strings. That's what they're doing. You know, they're plucking the heartstrings, and well, look at this poor little old girl. Look how pretty she was when she was 16. It's not even a real picture. It's a sketch. I mean, they just look so moronic. They look so moronic at that press conference holding that sketch up. It's like, what are these people doing? They're playing the people. That's the answer to that question. They're playing the people. They're playing them for fools, and a lot of people are obliging, because a lot of the people out there in the American public, unfortunately, are media zombies. They think the CNNs and all those people, and the NBCs and the ABCs are legitimate news sources. They don't report news. You know, they report bias. That's what they do. And so, that's all I really want to say. You know, the yearbook, what do you think? Do you think it's legit? Do you think it's a forgery? I mean, do you think it proves anything? What do you think? So, put your comments in the section below. Let me know what you think. And thank you for watching my video, and God bless.